We are in the middle of a LEGO Original Theme dispensation. Can we please praise the holy trifecta that is Ninjago, Dragons Rising, Monkey Kid, and DreamZzz. And the summer for 2024 is looking like there is quite a bit of crossover, right, Daniel Lewa?
Yeah, the fact that not only do we have one crazy original action theme, but we have three all running simultaneously. For fans of LEGO original action themes and story themes, non-IP themes, we gotta pick and choose a little more carefully now. Where is our precious LEGO budget gonna go? We're excited to break down 4 different categories in which these themes all overlap significantly to determine who did it better.
Those 4 categories are specifically animal, creature, beast builds, big location building builds, wheeled road vehicle builds, and buildable mechs. Each one of these 3 LEGO original themes, the summer 2024, each has one of those things, which is interesting. And we're definitely going to talk all about it. Why are they doing this? Why are they duplicating the same ideas across different themes? Well, let's just get to the bottom of it. Our first category is
winged creatures. Okay, so each of these 3 themes has a giant buildable winged creature. From left to right, on all of these categories, we have MK representative, the DreamZzz representative, and the Ninjago representative. Starting out, let's talk about the 9-headed beast from Monkey Kid.
Now that we know the prices that have come out for these Monkey Kid sets, we have a little bit more knowledge and we can kind of compare them to the other beasties. It's $100 and 757 pieces. Daniel Lewa is the biggest Monkey Kid fan. Are you still going to be spending $100 for a set of this stature?
This was to be $80, and that would have been a lot more fair, especially considering a handful of exclusive figs in this.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know where this $100 price tag is coming from. Is it the vinyl?
It's the import tax. At this point, they're just probably making these in Billund and shipping them over to America because they don't sell these regularly in LEGO stores over here. It is unfortunate that it's $100 because, admittedly, it's really cool. 9 heads, all different sizes. It's awesome. Colors are really, really pleasing. And you get, of course, the 9-headed beast minifig, which is nice. He does show up in another set, but for $100, there may be other sets that do this better with a similar concept in this way.
I mean, okay, so 1v1 with the 9-headed beast, 1v1 against the Midnight Raven. This is also comparable, being a winged beast at the exact same price point, $99.99, or 500 more pieces. Bro, 1,203 pieces for the Midnight Raven versus the 9-headed beast for 757 at the same price. Wow.
That's a tough look, especially considering that Dream sets inherently have more value because they include alternate builds, and you can build this set in a bunch of other included ways. You could also do it with any set, really, but the 9-headed beast doesn't come with the predetermined extra instructions for creative builds.
Price aside, going off the beast alone, which one is cooler to you personally? I guess I'll be the first to say it. I think the Midnight Raven looks a little bit cooler. The 9-headed beast, it is cool, but when we see some of the other pictures, it looks kind of more barren on its underbelly and such. The Midnight Raven just looks fleshed out. Well, because it has 500 more pieces, plus you get the Baba Yaga hut on top. Like, I think me personally, I would take Midnight Raven all day.
The head of the raven it's a raven, but the rest of it is awesome. The 9 heads is the really cool part of the other one. So it's tough to say which of these is better, but I think overall the Midnight Raven looks more pleasing and is a better value.
Okay, so it wins on that front. So now we're left with Midnight Raven versus the Source Dragon of Motion. We've seen some IRL footage of this now that some people have received it on their desks and tables and dusty shelves, and it doesn't look quite as good as the pictures as in real life, in my opinion, based on the video footage, okay? But I still think it is really epic. Price-wise, $150 for 1,716 pieces. Is that worth it?
I think so.
Yeah.
You get a large handful of figures. That's awesome. As far as comparing it to the Midnight Raven, I think it's way more epic. It's literally a biggest dragon we've ever had. So it's hard to compare with something that's a lot smaller.
Maybe it's not fair because those two are $100 and this is $150. It has, 500 more pieces than the Midnight Raven. So we're dealing with a discrepancy here of 500 pieces in between each of these sets. So, I mean, obviously this gets the most detail, but between just the coolness of these 3 creature builds, I think it's got to go the Source Dragon of Motion. I think the Midnight Raven would take the 2nd place, and I think the 9-headed beast would be shafted in the 3rd place. So, do you agree with me?
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think if you're going to only get one of these winged creatures, Source Dragon definitely takes the cake as far as sheer epicness.
Granted, I think all three of these are pretty cool. So whichever one you want is awesome. We just like to compare and contrast, and we love to quantify things. So our opinion is the Source Dragon of Motion. 1 point for Ninjago out of the 4 points to give. Let's go ahead and go to location builds. These are honestly pretty comparable. Look, they all have spires. They all have towers.
Celestial Pagoda from Monkey Kid, the Tournament Temple City from Ninjago, and the Castle Nocturnia with Phil from DreamZzz. And you're right, they all are very comparable. 2 Oriental style pagoda-ish shaped buildings and 1 other very colorful, fantastical building. A lot of shared design language amongst these 3.
Yeah, it's interesting because Ninjago and Monkey Kid are both Asian-inspired themes. They both cover a lot of similar territory. Maybe you could argue Monkey Kid is, of course, more Chinese. Maybe Ninjago draws from a little bit more Japanese inspiration, but still, it is interesting that 2 of our 3 LEGO original action themes are Asian-inspired. Is quite interesting. Anyways, let's start with Ninjago first. The Tournament Temple City, $250 for 3,489 pieces. Daniel Leiwa's bank account is looking at him.
Christmas LEGO gift cards one day, maybe. Because this thing is really awesome. It's beautiful. The colors really pop. And the rock work, I think, brings an extra level of uniqueness to this that the Temple of Air-Jitsu didn't have. Not saying that one was bad, but this definitely is a whole different beast. It's tough to compare to the other ones because it's so much higher in piece count and price. For 3,500 pieces almost, $250, it's an amazing deal pretty much for volume and piece count. You get tons of figs, tons of exclusive ones too, and it's for a slightly older audience. So those little Ninjago T-Fall, A-Fall community can really enjoy this one.
I wonder what the hardcore Ninjago fans think about this one specifically, because this is like Daily Bugle level piece count, and I don't feel like I see that.
Yeah, I think so much of it goes into that rock work. It's all kind of buried a little bit, which is unfortunate. But
that is a little unfortunate. It's cool rock work. Don't get me wrong. Especially the base looks that base sedimentary strip of dark gray looks really cool, and I get it, but would this look cooler on display compared to something like the DreamZzz Castle Nocturnia? I don't know, because DreamZzz is definitely like a playset type theme, like Ninjago's dipping into some of the display factor sets, but it seems like DreamZzz doesn't really care about displayability. This one might actually look pretty legit on display, would it not?
I think it would. It's so funny that they're already going right out of the gate with DreamZzz in the second year of the theme with a big direct-to-consumer display focus set. Usually that's the kind of thing that they would save for a few years down the line when people start getting nostalgic for a theme, like we saw with the Temple of Air-Jitsu. That being said, this is a pretty cool set, Phil aside. One thing that's interesting to note, though, is that both the Tournament Temple City and this one have a flying little side creature build. You have the Nougaty Dragon on the temple and Phil on this one.
It is interesting. Obviously, Castle Nocturnia is a lot less pieces. It doesn't even seem like it's a lot less pieces, but it is 1,742 pieces for $200. Guys, that's not fair. Granted, it does come with a lot of figures of all different sorts of shapes and sizes. So I'm going to be the first to go ahead and say it. Sorry to the Ninjago fans out there. I think this one seems a lot funner than the Tournament Temple City. I'm sorry, as far as funness goes, the fun is definitely here. The figures look funner. Feature of being able to flip it on 3 different sides seems funner, but I can see how the build would be a lot more satisfying with the Tournament Temple City.
It feels like the Tournament Temple City is kind of a refinement of everything we've had up to this point, whereas the Castle Nocturnia is kind of a progression, like, wow, we're doing something very new and different, having an MC Escher type 3-way transforming build that has also other alternate builds. So in some ways you can do a lot more with that one, but I still have to defend Tournament Temple City is just so beautiful and it's such a great value too. So I think that wins here.
Okay. I can see that. Say we give it to the Tournament Temple City. Okay, how does that fare against the literal Celestial Pagoda? Still, guys, I'm still crazy about this set. There's just something very over the top and different about that. Whereas Tournament Temple City, we've seen 20 other builds of this same silhouette. When have we ever seen a silhouette like this besides what? The Eiffel Tower? I'm just joking. No, but seriously. Celestial Pagoda, Daniel, you're the real Monkey Kid fan. Give it to us straight.
So the Pagoda, the Pro, is so eye-popping. And if you set this next to Tournament Temple City, your eye is going to be immediately drawn to this one because of the sheer verticality. There are just not a lot of Lego sets that have that kind of vertical presence. Would I say, though, that Temple Tournament City is more beautiful? By a hair. This does have a nice color scheme, but the Tournament Temple City, I think, overall is a little more cohesive because it's a whole scene, it's a whole setting. With the Celestial Pagoda, you're just getting the pagoda, which is fine because it is also $100 cheaper. It's $150 for 1,600 pieces. Decent deal. 2 very exclusive figures and very, very, very desirable figures, Li Jing and Nua. Oh man, you want the set for the pagoda, but also for those 2 figures alone. So I'm very, very torn when it's like, okay, we're trying to pick the best of these buildings. This is going to be a very hard one to do.
Yeah, there is a $100 difference in between these 2 sets, and it's half the prices. 1,600 pieces versus 3,400 pieces. So it is stacked up higher, and it is a facade, and it's kind of empty on the inside. But man, what I'm just saying, I'd rather have Li Jing and the Snake Mother Earth of China than any of Wildfire Cole, any of those guys. Again, let's just say that. So, minifigure wise, it just blows it out of the park just with those 2 figures alone. Personally, I would give it to Celestial Pagoda for this brand new color scheme, this beauty, this ancient history. But if you had to choose one, Daniel Lewa, I'm giving it to you to decide. All 3 of them are here. You only get to buy one original action theme building this year. Which one would you rather have?
As an adult builder, I think I've come to value the holistic building experience. So the fact that the Tournament Temple City has 3,489 pieces, it means that this is going to be a very hefty build experience. Lots to do, lots to try. Like I said, with the pagoda, it's just the pagoda, and it's nice. But if the tallness is the only thing that we're really getting from that, is that enough to compensate from the other? Besides the figs, of course. Maybe we'll have to come back to this. Let's save it.
You are getting a heftier build, but you're building a lot of hefty boulders and rocks. That's my main problem with the Tournament Temple City. But they all look good. Yeah. We'll come back to it. Let's go on a little stinkier of a category. Wheeled ground vehicles. Okay, well, this is where we're definitely struggling. I guess maybe it's kind of a stretch to include Zoe's cat motorcycle compared to these other 4-wheeled vehicles, but hey, it's still a similarity.
Okay, so we got left to right, Monkey Kid's team power truck, the ultimate dump truck. We have Ninjago Ninja combo vehicle. On the right, we have the wheeled Zoe's cat motorcycle from DreamZzz.
Okay, so let's start with DreamZzz on this one. Zoe's cat light cycle, it looks okay. It's definitely unique, and I really definitely value that. $20 for 226 pieces. Let's take it for what it is. It's a nice lower price point set, but I think it covers a wide range of audiences that may actually want this set. 2 minifigures, 1 Midnight Raven. It's cool. The alternate build is cool. How do you think this would fare if you could get one? If you could get one of these, Daniel, you're gonna have to pay the price also. Would you rather buy the light cycle or Ninja Team power vehicle?
Again, sucker for tanks.
Okay.
So I'd have to go for the combo vehicle, even though I think the cat motorcycle color scheme, fantastic.
Okay, well then I'll just go ahead and disagree with you immediately, because there is absolutely no way I'm paying $90 for this set that looks like this, and it's only not 576 pieces. Okay, you do get 6 minifigures. You get 4 of the Ninja Team and these 2 wolf masks. I'm going this $20 light cycle all day, this cat motorbike, because with this team vehicle, you're going to separate the vehicles off and then put them back together. Great. At least with the cat motorcycle, you can do a whole alternate build just for $20, funner colors, and a brand new original idea, compared to, frankly, a worse version of 3 other Ninjago tanks that we've seen. I frankly can't believe this set, and I think it's the worst of these 3 vehicles.
I see your point. Unfortunately, none of those are going to be my choice, because I'm going to have to say already that I think the Monkey Kid rep, the Team Power Truck, is better than these other 2 for a couple reasons. One, you have the 100-Eyed Demon, such a cool fig. This truck is more than meets the eye because you can take the back off. It becomes Pigsy's mobile food truck, essentially. You can put the front loader into the back of the truck. Maze Flyer goes on top. Like, it's a good representation of the team coming together and having all of their different aspects in the one truck. So I think even though it's ketchup and mustard debacle, it's still very fun in a more compact package, and it's kind of worth the price. $80 for 712 pieces, you can kind of get away with that.
I mean, yeah, also getting 5 minifigures plus Mo. I would almost get this for just the 100-Eyed Demon. I can't believe how cool that figure looks, and I love this small little centipede build. Matches him really well. It seems like being sneaky and invasive. This looks extremely fun. The speakers on the outside and how Mei attaches her jet as a cannon. It all compacts up together. It just seems like one of the better team vehicles because it's not a huge atrocious price like the rocket and the drone copter that are just huge piles of ketchup rather than a nice condensed packet here. Easy to say, guys, between these three wheeled vehicles, maybe it's a stretch that these are all the same category, but if it were, it would go to this Monkie Kid. So we have so far one for Ninjago, one for Monkie Kid on the scoreboard, and one is loading on the buildings.
I will say, isn't it weird that all three of these wheeled vehicles have the most blandest descriptive names ever? Zoe's cat motorcycle, the Ninja Team Combo vehicle, the Team Power Truck. Like, that's just so bland. You'd think like it would have some crazy, like, the ultrasonic radar. At least that was more of a name for the vehicle.
Buildings are Castle Nocturnia and the Celestial Pagoda, so that is kind of strange that the wheeled vehicles got the bland names. So far, Daniel Lewa will be purchasing this summer the Source Dragon of Motion and the Monkie Kids Team Truck. August 1st is looking good for him, but what mech will he be purchasing on August 1st?
We have Ninja's Ring of Fire mech for Monkie Kid, Cole's Titan mech from Ninjago, and Mateo and Z-Blob the Knight Battle Mech.
Okay, interesting. Let's go back to Monkie Kid first. We do have Ninja's Fire Mech here, Ring of Fire Mech. They are getting a little crazy with these prices, guys, because $140 for 1,163 pieces. Okay, let's get it out of the way. You do get the two villains here, the 100-Eyed Demon and the 9-Headed Demon. So minifigures I think look really cool. You get MK and you get White Suit Monkie Kid and Mei with roller skates. But this is not what Daniel Lewa was wanting when he ordered the Ninja's Fire Mech in his mind.
I don't know what I was expecting. I know a lot of people also now it's like expecting some big actual ring, like the Ninja's Fire Ring set. But no, I mean, you get a very busy, kind of messy mech. And as we will see with the other mechs, there's such a stiff competition this summer specifically within these action themes. If you're going to be having like $140 to spend on a Lego mech, you gotta like really bring your A game every time. So yeah, the figures are nice. The exclusive Ninja figure is also nice. The mech itself, it's a lot.
Yeah, this is the stiffest category because boom, Z-Blob and Mateo's Night Mech. Yeah, I think already that Ninja's Ring of Fire Mech has already got blown out of the water with this one because this looks so much more cohesive. The design just looks better overall. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I think mostly because it's a shaping and size we really haven't seen before in Lego mechs, just kind of blobby and curvy, and that's not really something we see in Lego mechs.
Like Z-Blob has been integrated into this. These noodle pieces are paying off. I mean, comparing the prices, $140 for 1,163 pieces Ninja's Fire. $10 less, $130 for the Night Mech, but almost 200 more pieces, 1,333 pieces. This is literally the better value. I mean, it does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 figures if you count the Nightmare Ling, has 6 figures if you include the cat. It's not lacking in the figure department either.
Yeah, the Grim Spawn are kind of cool. They're the coolest part of the figs. Otherwise, the figs are just kind of, you don't get the Nightmare Witch or anything. I think the Ninja's Fire Mech blows the figures out of the water on this one, but the mech itself here is much better.
Ninja's Fire Mech has gone bye-bye. Cole's Titan Dragon Mech.
Oh!
Now, granted, this is less pieces than both mechs. This is 1,055 pieces. And it is $100 with one singular minifigure. It's clear, it's obvious, this is the winner. Let's be completely frankly honest with each other. There's no way that Cole's Titan Dragon Mech is just not the winner. Come on, guys. If you do disagree, I'd be curious if you prefer the other two, which is completely okay, just our opinion. But man, this is some stiff competition for the summer of mechs.
This is crazy. And the designer actually came out and said, Nick von Slagma, he actually came out and confirmed something that we were speculating on. The reason there's only one figure is because they wanted to put all of their parts budget and everything into just making the best mech possible. And so by excluding any side builds or other figures, they were able to put everything just into the mech. And it shows. This thing is absolutely phenomenal. Videos that we've seen now in early reviews show just the craziest articulation of any mech. Torso, ankle, knee, elbow, shoulder. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And the color scheme is awesome. I think they made a right choice, putting a lot more white in here, even though it's a Cole mech. It's cohesive with the other Titan mechs.
The designer insight was interesting because he basically described me. He said we didn't include any side builds or other minifigures because a lot of people are just buying the mech for the mech. They don't even get the rest of Ninjago. I'm like, that's so true. I have Nia's mech and I have all the Titan mechs, but I just don't really care about the side builds and extra minifigures because I'm just displaying the mech. So I think it's a totally okay choice to include the one figure. So value-wise, if you want more figures, you're going to have to go with these other two mechs. But if you're going just for the mech, you're going to have to go with this mech. So That is yet another point for Ninjago. Ninjago's up 2, Monkey Kid's up 1. DreamZzz has been surprisingly consistent though, with being in the mid. Like I think it's a surprisingly consistent theme. There's not a lot of flops like Ninjago has, such as this quote-unquote tank, if you want to call it that. Buildings.
That's true.
You haven't chosen one.
You
just give it to DreamZzz.
Oh.
DreamZzz is funner. These other 2 buildings you can't flip on their other 2 sides. These other buildings don't have Phil, the icon of Lego of all time.
Problem is the castle, it's the worst value money-wise. Way fewer pieces for what you pay. The figures are not quite as desirable as either of the other 2, which have a ton of exclusive things. So while I applaud the creativity in the DreamZzz one, I'm going to have to go with either the Pagoda or the Tournament Temple City.
I know you love both, but man, we love quantifying things. So I say, Daniel, one of these 2 sets is falling into your hand tonight. Which one would you prefer?
Got the box art real quick. I'm gonna have to give it to Tournament Temple City by a sliver, the smallest margin possible, because both of these are so incredible. You could almost consider it a tie, but if I had to choose, I want to have something that's a meteor build experience, display a bunch of figures.
Yeah, Daniel Leo loves his big builds, so whatever's the more pieces, that's the one he wants. So, to recap, Winged Beast, the Source Dragon of Motion, will win this category. Buildings, the Tournament Temple City will win this category. 2 for Ninjago. Wheeled vehicles on the ground will have to go to Monkey Kid. And finally, Mechs has to go to Ninjago. Dang it! As much as I hate to say it, Ninjago is actually winning this summer. Granted, these are not all of the sets for each 3 of these teams. They each have more sets. But these are the ones that cross over. We're going to have to make a decision if you want a mech. Which one are you going to get? But let us know which mech, winged beast, grounded vehicle, and buildable building would you buy?
It is weird that we have so much overlap, though. Like, if Lego's going to make 3 original action themes, you'd think they would diversify a little more instead of just like fantasy, Chinese setting, fantasy, technology, Japanese setting, fantasy, technology, dream world. Like, it's all very fantastical. We're not seeing a lot of sci-fi stuff. We're not seeing anything that's really more real world.
And honestly, I'm afraid of people taking my ideas, but I'm just going to throw it out there so Lego, you can steal this idea. Let's keep the Asian-inspired themes going with a sci-fi theme. I'm talking Gundam, space. Sorry, I said it. $millions theme right there. Reboot, Exo Force, whatever. But space Gundam, spaceships mixed with space Gundam mix. You're going to make a lot of money.
All right, if you made it this far in the video, comment Squirtle in the comments, and we're excited to see all of your choices for the best of all of these categories.
Thank you so much for watching. Oh my gosh. Special shout out to our members, the Sakuga Squadron. You will be getting a shout out every episode. That is Oliver J. Ames, the Ginger Lender. That is Dr. Dan. And that is I'm Lidme. Thank you guys for being members on the channel. We really sincerely appreciate it. Do you ever just look at Daniel Leo and say, how can I support this guy even further? I love him so much. Or maybe it's even me. Probably not. But guys, I'm the worst. You can now become a member on the Sakuga Builds channel and become part of the Sakuga Squadron. Do have a little bit of perks. It is $3 a month or $2.99. You'll get access to exclusive emotes featuring Daniel Lewa as Sun Wukong. You will get priority reply to comments. We'll make sure to prioritize replying to you guys. And you will get access to a members only community tab where we're providing updates, polls, video ideas, and we can really interact. Sorry we don't have that much more to offer right now, but thank you so much for even considering becoming a member. All these viewers, even the people who are subscribed, thank you so much for watching and liking. It makes our dreams come true, and we love to share our passion for Lego.